Hi, I'm Paul Lazarovich, and welcome to this issue of Cranberry Country Journal. You know, since 1993, we've been bringing you a little slice of life of the people, places, and activities that make the Cranberry Country area a special place to call home. Today, we have some special people at a special place. We're at Betty's Neck to talk about the Betty's Neck extravaganza, and I'm fortunate to have at the start of our program Nancy Yates, who needs no introduction for the folks here in Lakeville. So stick around. We're going to bring you some of the sights and sounds, the extravaganza. We'll get Alan Russell behind the camera catching all the fun stuff today. As we continue with Cranberry Country Journal, we'll be back with Nancy right after this. We're here with Nancy Yates, and today's title of all the titles that she's had in the town of Lakeville, Nancy is the Assawamsett Pond Complex Environmental Manager. Did I say that correct?
Yes, you did.
Thanks for being with us today.
Oh, you're welcome. It's a pleasure.
Tell us about the Betty's Neck extravaganza. What's planned for today, Nancy?
Well, first of all, we're celebrating 10 years. I can't even believe this is our 10th year since the town acquired this wonderful property. Every year we have an extravaganza. We actually have one before we even purchased the property. We had an extravaganza to show the property to the people of the town of Lakeville so that they could vote that we could purchase it, and they did. Today we're going to do hay rides. We do that every year. We're going to have nature walks that will be narrated, so we'll tell people about the property and pass out maps to show if they want to come back on their own, how to get around. We are going to have a scavenger hunt this afternoon.
For the kids?
Yeah, for the kids, so that should be fun. This evening we're going to have an evening with Dick Turner. Dick Turner has worked for the Division of Fisheries and Wildlife for over 50 years, I believe, and he's going to come and we're going to have like a storytelling time because he has some fabulous stories. And he was an original member of the Lakeville Conservation Commission, and they're celebrating 50 years today also. We're sharing this event this weekend.
So it's a great day just to celebrate it all.
And it was supposed to rain, and it's so beautiful. I'm very
no
happy.
rain.
No rain.
How about some cranberry pie or something if I want to get something to eat?
Yes, I made my famous cranberry pie, and we have hot chocolate. I thought it was going to be a little chilly today, so I thought we'd do hot chocolate if anybody wants hot chocolate. Tomorrow also is going to be wonderful. We have Marla Isaac coming from New England Raptor exhibit, and she's going to do her Wild Bird of Prey show here at 1 o'clock. On Monday, and that's always a huge draw. People love to see the bird. She has
some owls.
Owls. She has, I believe, she has recently acquired a falcon, and it actually flies. The last time she was here, it like flew up onto the peach barn and looked at everybody, and then she called it back, and it came right back.
Oh, that's neat.
She also has a vulture, which in my publicity, I always say one very cute vulture, and everyone says, "How can you say that's a very?" It's adorable. She's raised it from almost birth. And it hops around, and she calls it back, and it hops back to her. It has a huge wingspan. It's wonderful.
It's a great day for the whole family.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Let's go back and just talk a little bit of the history. I know it's been over 10 years since Lakeville, along with New Bedford and Taunton, and you got into negotiations and with the Deacus family. How did this all come about, this beautiful area that's now part of Lakeville and part of the town?
Right. Well, about 10 years ago, or probably even a little longer than that, the cranberry business wasn't doing too well, and a lot of the local cranberry farmers couldn't afford to keep their upland anymore. They were always, when the cranberry business was at its height, they could actually afford to keep lots of upland around the bogs. And as the industry was having a little bit of a hard time, a lot of the cranberry farmers sold their upland. And this property came on the market, and there was a developer from New Jersey who had come up and was looking at it for like 1,000 units of condos. And then I think it could have been like 158 houses by right. But the condos would have needed a treatment facility. And we have 2.1 miles of shoreline on the drinking water reservoir for the cities of Taunton and New Bedford. So for the first time in history, I think Taunton, New Bedford, and Lakeville worked together, which was wonderful.
I won't ask you how you did that.
And it was $9 million was the price tag. We got a lot of money from the state. We got $6 million from the state. Lakeville chipped in $1.2 million. People at town meeting, like I said before, were fabulous. The vote was almost unanimous. I think 3 people voted against it, and they were the same 3 people that voted against everything all night. And we brought the people out and showed them the property, and there was no problem. It passed unanimously, and Taunton and New Bedford each chipped in $600,000 apiece.
That's about. You get over 4,000 acres. So tell the folks who may not be familiar with it. What is it that makes Betty Neck special? Tell us about the area here.
Well, in 10,000 years of human history here, it's never been developed. The most there were peach orchards here. This is called the Peach Barn right behind us, or in front of us. So it was always farmed, and forests and everything had never been. This was the place where the last Native American Wampanoags lived. So it was basically untouched, and to have someone come in and put 1,000 units of condos and a golf course and a treatment facility and a water tower was just heartbreaking to a lot of the folks that would like to see it stay natural, and it would have been a threat to our drinking water. Because now Lakeville, through this whole deal, Lakeville has rights to drinking water through Taunton. And we never had that before. We had sold those rights many years ago, and now we have the right again to have our own water out of our own ponds.
Makes a little sense.
Yes, it does.
What do you find special about the place?
It's very peaceful. Whenever I've done a lot of things in town government and been on many committees, and when things get, as they do politically or even on committees, so very stressful, this is the most peaceful place in Lakeville, if not southeastern Massachusetts. It's even the whole waterworks land around 4,000 acres. This is 350 that we own, the town of Lakeville that we own through this deal. But there's 4,000 acres where you can just walk and see, a hawk fly over, or, a fox run by. It's wonderful, beautiful, protected land, and it will be in perpetuity. People in the future, 100 years from now, will be able to come here and enjoy this property.
And see what people see here today.
Yes, yes.
Got to ask you about bald eagles, you, and also, will we see any around this area here, or we have to get a little bit closer to the ponds? Or?
I saw 2 this morning, and I have to say, whenever we have an event here, they seem to fly over and check out what's going on. I know that we had some work done on the visitor center, and they flew over every day and checked out the workmen to see how it was going, foreman on the job. But we had...
I think they're following you, Nancy.
We had 2 productive nests this year. So, and this is the 20th year for them that the first bald eagle's nest was discovered by me in 1993.
Yeah, let's talk about that. You found them nesting, right? Where and how? How did you come upon them?
On Assawamsett Pond. I was taking some people for a boat ride on Assawamsett Pond, and we got blown into a cove because there was a storm coming up. And I was very worried. I'm responsible for people that I have out there, and this storm came out of nowhere and blew us into the cove. And at first I didn't even notice because I was so worried about getting the engine started and getting out and home before the lightning started crashing down. And out of the corner of my eye, I just happened to see up in the tree a bald eagle can go to 43 inches. There were 2 huge birds in the tree looking down at me like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I must have said, oh my God, about 500 times.
And of course, you didn't have the proverbial camera with you, right?
No. I had to go back the next day. In fact, I was out there for a week until my husband finally called Fisheries and Wildlife so I would come home and cook supper.
And now the counts every year. What are the counts like when they do the annual count?
We're up to, we personally in Lakeville with the 2nd nest and now a 3rd nest. We have 3 nests now. Only 2 were productive this year, but our count is up to, I have to go back and check my records. Either 35 or 37 young eaglets have been born in this area over the last 20 years.
That's amazing.
At one point, we had the most productive nest in the entire state.
We're speaking with Nancy H. She is the Assawamsett Pond Complex Environmental Manager. You probably know with a lot of other titles in the town of Lakeville. Again, give us folks a reminder, maybe never been here before. How do they get out to Betty's Neck, and what's the hours of availability and the like?
Okay. 57 Long Point Road. Follow the signs. There's a sign at the end of the road, and there's signs directing you all the way in. We have people directing traffic. The hours are today, which is Sunday, 10 to 4. Tonight at 7 o'clock, we're having an evening with Dick Turner in the Visitor Center inside, so we have permission. We don't want to worry about mosquitoes. And tomorrow, the same thing, 10 to 4. And the hay rides will be probably about on the hour, or as people gather and it fills up, we take off.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much, Nancy. We're going to continue. It's a great day here as part of the Betty's Neck extravaganza as we continue with Cranberry Country Journal on the road. And I'm not going to put her on the spot, but I'm going to ask her if she's going to guarantee that I'll see a bald eagle finally before I leave here. We'll be back with a little bit more of the program. Alan has the camera running, and he's going to capture all the sights and sounds. We'll be right back.
But it would be safe to keep your distance until there's no secret that will make you smile. Reliable sources say that Chicken soup has found their way out of this dangerous, but they are returned.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
We're back here as part of the Betty's Neck extravaganza, and I have the opportunity right now to sit down with Emery Orrell. Emery is the chair of the Lakeville Conservation Committee. Thanks for taking a few moments with us on this busy day.
You're welcome. Happy to be here.
I appreciate it so much. First of all, why don't we just talk with some of the folks about what is the Lakeville Conservation Committee and some of the activities and things you've been involved in?
Well, the Lakeville Conservation Commission works with the Department of Environmental Protection to enforce the Wetlands Protection Act. And not that we do enforcing technically, but people come to us when they want to build a house that's near a wetland. Basically anything that's within 100 feet of a wetland is in the jurisdiction of the Conservation Commission. And so anyone who wants to do any work should apply to the Conservation Commission, call the agent, find out what they need to do, and then come in and we'll take a look at it. We approve most things, but we like to condition it, make it so that things don't get washed into the wetlands, so we have hay bales put around and so forth, and it's just basically a protection. We supply water to 2 cities from the town of Lakeville, and so protecting our water is very important. And it's an all-volunteer committee, and that's what we do.
Sometimes some of the decisions doesn't always make you the most popular people in town, I imagine.
Oh no, probably the most hated people in town, I imagine.
I know one thing we want to talk about is the Wetland Protection Bylaw Study Committee. Tell us a little bit about that here.
All right, we formed a subcommittee, and we titled it a study committee because their charge is to find out if we should have a wetlands protection bylaw. There are places in the Department of Environmental Protection wetland regulations where there are things that are not really covered. And we wonder if we shouldn't have a bylaw to add those few little things. More towns in Massachusetts have them than don't have them. So we're studying that, and the committee consists of 3 conservation commissioners. At this point, it has 2 members at large from the community, but we've decided to expand it so that it can include more people as well. And we also have a member of the Board of Selectmen, and a member of the Planning Board on this committee. And they will actually be meeting this week, I believe, on Thursday night. I'm not positive of the date, but the dates are posted. They'll be in the Standard Times. They'll be posted in front of the town hall, and they meet at the town office building in Lakeville. And we want the public to come. We want people to come and voice their opinions, pro or con, so that we can get a good understanding of whether or not we should have this.
And tell us the primary role and responsibility of the study committee.
The primary role at this point, the charge, is to find out if we should write a bylaw.
So you're at that point, very initial
We're
stage.
at that point. They will come up with a finding on that.
Yep.
They'll report to the Conservation Commission. Conservation Commission will then decide whether or not to start writing a bylaw.
Right.
If that's done, then that will be presented to the Board of Selectmen. It'll be presented to the town. At a town meeting, the town will vote on it.
And they'll have the final decision.
And they'll have the final decision. We want to try to cover it before we get to that level. Well, bluntly, it's very expensive to bring it to town meeting. Yes, we have to advertise it and so forth. And it has to be looked over by town council. So all of that costs money. We want to get some of that out of the way before we get that far.
Let's just change topics a bit. Some of the fun stuff. Obviously today, like a day like today with the
Gorgeous
extravaganza.
day today.
Some of the other activities of the Conservation Committee?
Well, we're also celebrating our 50th anniversary. Tonight we're having an evening with Dick Turner. Dick Turner is works for the Department of Fisheries and Wildlife. He's the local wildlife management man for this area. He took the job in 1948, and he's still doing it.
He's got some stories to tell.
He's got some stories to tell, and he'll be here tonight in the Peach Barn with a fire going and regaling people with his stories. So that ought to be great.
Oh, that should be fun.
And we have a booth inside where we're giving away wildflower seeds. We have maps to the Assawampset Ponds complex. And also we have a wetlands demonstration going on where we pour water into different types of ground and see how fast it flows.
Sure, that's important to see too. So,
sure.
I want to go back to the regarding the study committee and also more activities of the conservation group. If citizens in town want to get involved, is there a particular phone number or a website they can contact Emery?
Oh, absolutely. Actually, we're on Facebook now.
Wonderful. Social media.
Social media. The Conservation Commission is on Facebook. If you just go to the town's website, you'll get all the conservation numbers. I can tell you the office number is 508-946-8823. And we have a secretary, Jennifer, who's there part-time, and an agent, Nancy Yates. The famous Nancy Yates will be there, is there part-time.
Wearing one of her many hats.
We're wearing one of her many hats. And you can look us up in the phone book if you need to reach anybody in person. There are 7 members on the Conservation Commission in addition to them. The website, I'm not sure how you get to the website yet. I'm not that great on the computer. But we are there, and we'll be posting all sorts of upcoming things.
That's great. And aren't you going to urge the folks to like you on Facebook?
Oh, absolutely. Somebody's got to like us, besides the animals and the streams.
Emery Orrill, folks, the Lakeville Conservation Commission chairperson, and thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Thanks, Emery. We'll be back with a little bit more of Cranberry Country Journal as part of the Betty's Neck extravaganza as we're on the road today on this beautiful Sunday morning. Be right back.
I look up to a lot of the older heads, you know, the innovators, the heads of the art movements of the past. They kept it really edgy, and like a lot of the Latin American muralists and Latin American artists, and their styles were very unique and new to their time, you know, somewhat controversial, but that's who I look up to mainly. Personally, I'm very excited about going to college. It's something new and it's something different than what I'm used to. I'm definitely going to be a little out of my element, but that's what makes it so exciting, is that, you know, it's something fresh. Well, there's so many opportunities that I think I could miss out on if I didn't go, you know? Getting into college takes planning and vision. You know, it's just like when I take a brick wall and turn it into a canvas for my art. Paintings help me realize that I've got what it takes.
And then here comes the rain.
All right, let's see.
There's
So,
2
do you
cups
guys
of
have
rain.
a prediction about which one is going to absorb more water? You think the dirt
All right,
will
2
absorb
cups of
more
water.
That side over there.
Now, let's try 2 cups of water in the woodland.
Anybody want to change their prediction? No?
Which one would what?
Yeah, you do.
Not first? I don't think you're gonna see any water come on this side.
And 2 cups of water on bare dirt. We've got some erosion going on.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, the silt's going into the wetland. Oh, I hope it doesn't drown the froggies.
Look at that.
See the frogs?
Is there a
There's
rust?
no stickers. There's
Oh, that's true.
So as you can see, no protection, water just flows away.
A little protection.
Even the ground, it's pretty good protection, but it also creates sort of a sheet flow runoff. The sod, so far, has soaked up all the water I put in it. There's not a drop down below.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all working with United Way for a million little reasons. The kids of our communities, to ensure their academic success all the way to graduation day. You see, it takes about 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a kid becoming one or the other could be a professional athlete, or it could be you. Studies showed the earlier we get to kids, the better their chances. So become a United Way volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor, and make a difference in the life of a child, for the life of that child.
Give.
Advocate.
Volunteer.
Live united. Join your favorite NFL players. Take the pledge. Go to unitedway.org.
This concludes this issue of Cranberry Country Journal. A very special thanks to Alan Russell, the Executive Director of LakeCAM, who's made this all possible with his technical expertise. I hope you enjoyed Alan's ride. He took you on that hayride, folks, and he's responsible for making this program possible today. I'm Paul Lazarovich, and if you have a suggestion for a topic or a guest, you can reach us in a couple of different ways. You can write to us at Cranberry Country Journal, Post Office Box 1235, Middleborough, Mass. 02346, or check out the website, just getting underway. It's cranberrycountry.com. And you can email us at cranberrycountry@hotmail.com. That's cranberrycountry@hotmail.com. I guess we've got the Cranberry Country name all cornered here. So in the meantime, it's been a pleasure bringing you this little slice of life at the Betty's Neck Extravaganza here in Lakeville, Massachusetts on this beautiful autumn day in October. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Keep that Cranberry Country spirit in your heart. I'm Paul Lazarovich. We'll see you then.